buddies that I've got in here. Today I'm upgrading my Steam Deck 64 gig base model to 512 gig. First I gotta take this ridiculous case off. The Steam Deck came in yesterday. I was pretty stoked on that. Thought it would be an interesting device, both for my computer repair job as well as, you know, just playing games. So first we're going to turn them off. If I can figure out how the hell I do that. Okay, that's what I thought. Confirm. Alright, that sucker's shutting down. Alright, how do I get this sucker out of here? One more thing and then we'll get started. Getting started. I'm going to put the Steam Deck back into its case somewhat so that I don't push down the joysticks into the table. Let's see. Gonna try the slightly more flat end Phillips screwdriver bit. Luckily the four center screws are the same length and thread, and the four outer are not, so makes it a little easier to keep track of because there's just two screw types for the back. Let's see. So gonna grab a spudger, start from the top of the joystick or the triggers. Oop. Let's see. Why is this guy? clippy clip. Man. Man, that guy's really on there. Alright, insert the... Ah. Am I doing this backwards? There we go. Alright. There we go. So now, gently pull up. Looks like they're doing it starting from the right side. I think we may need a little more unclipping on this side. There we go. And all clips are still intact. No damage to any of the shitty clips, which is always an issue. Luckily it's new and the plastic is not at all damaged. And whoop, why do we look... Okay. What the heck? Looks like we've got a different interior. Okay, there we are. Thank you, Valve, for modifying the interior so that it is not actually what I was expecting or the guide has listed. I'm gonna have to make sure that I am not working on... This is not the OLED, is it? Replacing an upgrade. No. So why is it so different interior? Alrighty. Where are we hung up? Now what is holding you in? Oh, there we go. It's our beautiful thermal pads. They actually did quite a good job with these. So there's only 2 screws holding that back plate in, and luckily, if you can see here, this is our SSD. It's actually more accessible than this model that the guide is for. Oh, that is extremely strange. So it looks like this silver bit on top, as seen right here, this silver heat shield is missing, but then the black one that I just removed is supposed to be underneath. So I'm a little confused on that, why it's missing on the model I purchased. It's very strange. Alright, now the most important, disconnecting the battery. Let's pull this guy up, the little pull tab. Remove that. And then let's just power cycle it just to make sure that there's no power left in. And then we'll remove this 64 gigabyte eMMC drive, because eMMC is the biggest piece of shit. You may as well have a mechanical hard drive half the time. The lifespan of eMMC storage is drastically worse than any NVMe SSD for the most part, unless you get like an ADATA. ADATA is a mess. I've had more clients with dead ADATA drives than basically anything else, and I don't even understand why they exist half the time. It's like you save $10 on a $40 purchase, but at what cost? Your data is more important than $10. So, be warned. Alrighty. Pull the old eMMC. Oops, sorry for the terrible zoom. Or focus. Sorry, not zoom. It's early. But that's okay. Alright. Slip this little heat shield on. I've got it. Alright. Now we'll remove the M.2 screw. I put it back in just to make sure that it didn't get lost. I always like to reinstall the M.2 screw, just so that you know exactly where it is and it doesn't get confused with any other screw. Alrighty, so see, they tell us to peel it off, but in reality that's not necessary. It actually just slides right off. No resistance, really. Your mileage may vary on that, but for me it just slid right off. Oh, saw a light on the Steam Deck. Let's see. Reconnecting the battery can be a little nerve-wracking, but that's okay. Alrighty. Alright. And let's get this heat shield back on proper. Alright. So we've got that bottom screw. Let's make sure I'm exactly where they need to go. Yes, so one at the top and one at the bottom. And let's do this stinker. Get that guy back screwed in. Looking good. This is one of the most painless SSD upgrades besides old Dells and HPs where you flip the little unscrew one screw, take the little cover off, and bada boom, bada bing, you're done. I miss those because it was just so unbelievably simple. Alrighty. Let's get this back plate back on. I am planning on swapping the back plate to a Jagex translucent purple, which I think would look pretty damn cool on the back. I have no interest in doing this front panel because you have to entirely gut the Steam Deck, and that's a headache and not really worth swapping, personally. Alrighty. Whoop. There we go. Make sure you're screwing directly down and not at an angle. I'm not certain how the screws actually mount internally. I'm hoping it's not, sub $800 laptop hinge mounting where you literally it's just a metal nut in a plastic casing. So when you bend the hinge back on a lot of Dells and HPs, Lenovo's, Asus laptops, anything that's sub $800 or so MSRP, you get a great snap of the hinges, which is always so fabulous to have because then you don't just have to replace, it's not an easy swap. You literally have to replace the entire palm rest housing most of the time because in a lot of cases it's unfixable with regular with an easy process of sorts. But, it happens. I would highly recommend buying somewhat older enterprise level Dells and HPs, specifically the Dell Latitude series, the E5540 is a wonderful option, and you can find them for very cheap these days. And, they retailed originally for a good chunk of money, usually over $2,000, and now you can find them for sub 300, in a lot of cases sub 200, and they're just a solid laptop. Let's see, we're gonna let's see, where is our recovery instructions? Download the recovery. Boop, boop, Etcher downloaded. Oh, CY. Alright, we'll do Rufus instead. Alrighty, download Rufus. Gotta have our nice. Rufus is a great tool for formatting drawings as well as. Yes. Alrighty. Let me snag a flash drive real quick. We've got this Lexar 32 gigabyte. Works pretty well. Not the best, not the worst. Alrighty. Make sure that that guy's empty. Let's bring this back over. Whoop. That's why. That's okay. Let's format that guy. Format. Oh, we'll just do that through here. Disk image. Let's see. Alright. We just have a little bit longer on the Steam Deck recovery image. Here's our etcher. I'll actually give this guy a download. I've had better luck with Balena Etcher recently. It works quite nicely. Alright, we're almost done on that guy. Just make sure we don't have anything downloading in the background. Alright. So let's. Alright, let's see. I've been informed that my mic is very quiet. Alright, just about there on the Steam Deck download. Let's see. Alrighty, 4 seconds. Alright, so we're going to select the Steam Deck image, and then select the target, which is going to be our Lexar flash drive. We're going to go, and we're going to flash, and then yes, we want to do that. Let's see, I'm going to try turning the mic to 100% just to make sure. Alright, we're only getting 0.30 megabytes a second. Holy shit. That's a slow mount. Or slow transfer, sorry, not mount. It's still early. Alright, why are you doing this? ETA, okay, we're going to cancel that. We're going to we're gonna actually wipe this USB drive because I believe it was formatted for Mac OS, which ain't so nice. Start, yes. Windows completed the format. Alright, format. Oh god. Alright. Alright, let's pop open disk management so that we can actually see what we've got. Alright, new simple volume. That is our guy. Going to recovery. Alrighty. Alright, hopefully that guy shows up pretty soon. Takes a second to format sometimes with flash drives, which can be a little obnoxious, but that's okay. It is what it is. I'll take it. Alright, there it is. Now it is drive Q. Interesting. Alright. Now that it's properly formatted, we should be able to get the Steam Deck image onto the flash drive, no problem. So, recently I actually found a device that takes these 2230 M.2 SSDs and turns them into compact flash cards, which is definitely a much cheaper way to use compact flash than actually buying a large capacity compact flash drive. But let's see, why is Balana Etcher not functioning properly? Let's see. Let's give Rufus a try, because this is being a turd. Alright, so we're gonna start.
Oh, she checked. I had Bite Wing.
Thank you. Alrighty, so now it's writing the image, but let's see if it actually does anything. Okay, so we're going faster than we were on Elena. Come on. Alright, now we're getting there. Getting somewhere. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Alright, 1 second. I gotta snag USB-C to Alrighty. Alright. So we've got our USB-C to USB Type A, I believe it is. I always get confused on that one. .5. This does tend to be the longest bit a lot of the time. This is going to take twice as long as actually replacing the SSD, it looks like. Alrighty. Hold volume down and click power button. Let go of volume down when you hear the chime, and you'll be booted into the boot manager. Boot manager boot, okay. Alright. We're almost there. $99, $100. Let me see if I can change the audio quality. Let's see. Stream. Audio. Looks like I can't change that while streaming, sadly. Let's see. Let's see if I can... Nope. Bummer. Alright, so Rufus is finished. We're going to close that now. Eject. Eject flash drive. Oop, not yet. Alrighty. So I'm going to bring this to stream or video. We're gonna make that a little bigger. There we are. Alright, stick that guy in. Pull the flash drive that we properly ejected, otherwise we may not have the proper image anymore. Alright, so volume down and then click power button. Ooh. What am I missing here? Ah, wait. So, USB-C, shut down your Steam Deck. Okay, there we go. We are booting. Waiting for the chime. Welcome to SteamOS. Let's get a little zoomed in over here. So in the boot manager, boot from EFI, USB device. Screen will go dark. It's booting. Okay. Once booted device. Okay. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can get this zoom a little better, or the focus. Let's see. Whoop, too far. Alright, nope. Alright, we'll go back to auto white balance. Oh, there we go. That looks a little better. You'll probably be able to read it if it actually focuses. Alright, looks like it's installing. Let's see, can we get a little... It's pretty amazing that Valve and Steam were able to make a device like this for, honestly, really cheap. It's now the cheapest way to get into PC gaming at basically all different types of games. I've been playing mainly smaller indie games that get a lot better battery life since I got it. It actually just came yesterday. Took about 8 days to arrive after order, but you know, that is what it is. It was shipped UPS ground, which takes a good bit because of the larger lithium-ion battery in it. Let's see. What are we doing? So we've got nothing on screen really. Come on. What are we doing, bud? Let's see. Screen will go dark. Once booted, you will be in. Okay, where is our desktop environment? Ah, there we are. Welcome to KDE Plasma. Woo! Wow, that was unbelievably easy. Like, more easy than installing Linux on most computers. Not all of them, but there we are. We're gonna finish. Should get to the KDE desktop. Let's see. And really the fact of the matter is that Valve has opened Linux to everybody. It's pretty amazing. Okay, do we have... See, do we want, are we fully installed yet? Or do I need to run the installer still? The boot manager. Steam Deck user. So fabulous. So it does not look like we're fully installed quite yet. We are going to terminate system settings. This will permanently destroy data. Let's see. Choose proceed only if, okay, the partition. Alright, running through the installer. Let's see. Brightness, we're going to turn that down a bit. Maybe it'll make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. Oh, there we go. And these little side trackpads are pretty nice. Work fairly well. A little bit inaccurate, but what do you expect? I mean, it's a trackpad the size of like 3 postage stamps. Maybe even a little smaller. Alright, we're getting him done. Let's see, can we get our battery info? Monitor. We've got about 97 seconds left. It's nice that the left-hand trackpad is the scroll. I think that that works pretty well, at least from my limited testing. So, my understanding is, let's see what the power brick is rated for. So, let's see, 20 volts at 2.25 amps. So it looks like, let's see, 22.25, about a 45 watt capacity charger. So you'd need a higher end battery bank to charge at full speed. I've recently seen there's a, oh gosh, carbon battery pack that I believe it's lithium carbon that will charge the Steam Deck no problem, and that has an output of about 100 watts. But generally you'd need something better than a bog standard phone charger. So let's see. Like for instance, if we go we're gonna go over to Newegg. See if there's anything that is 45 watt. So there is, for instance, the however the heck you pronounce this, which is specifically designed for the Steam Deck and actually mounts using a bracket, which seems pretty nice. It clips onto the backside, but that's about $93 for 20,000 milliamps, which isn't too bad. It's certainly better than this $180 one that is the same power delivery, but it looks like, let's see, dual ports. Yeah, it doesn't actually. Oh, it supports Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0, Fast Charge, and PD Type-C support, which is always, it's nice to have all three. Whereas the Antank magnetic power battery, let's see, what are we? This one may be specifically designed for the Steam Deck. It actually looks like it is. So I'm not sure if this supports the proper, let's see. I'm not sure if you'd actually want to charge your phone with it, which is a little bit of a pain. Let's see. Oh. So it does say that it'll charge Samsung phones and iPads, but I have run into issues where battery banks don't actually regulate their power output properly, so you actually wind up wrecking the battery a lot quicker than you would otherwise. Let's see. Power banks. Like this Anker PowerCore Slim would not output enough power. Let's see, high speed. Let's see. Input only on USB-C, which is a pain. It's never fun when you only get power out by USB-A. You don't quite get enough. Yeah, so this only charges, let's see, does not support Qualcomm Quick Charge, which is always a headache. Oh, there we are. We're going to proceed. We are going to, I believe, remove our flash drive if it's, you know, bog standard Linux install, but it certainly may not be. Oh, and then here's another example of something higher end. So this is a 60,000 milliamp hour with translates into 192 watt hours, and that goes up to 60 watts for $150, which isn't too bad these days. That's actually a fairly reasonable price. Yeah, 60 watt max phone, 27 watt max. Oh, what does that mean? Can you stack them? Oh no, it's just the light. Okay. But that's always nice to have. Maintenance 85% charge after 1 year. over temperature protection is always a nice thing, especially in the summer. You don't want your batteries to start exploding on you. You don't want your forbidden pillows, which I sadly have seen all too many times, especially if you have a razor blade laptop. You definitely want to make sure that that battery isn't getting puffy, because sooner or later it will rip the bottom case screws out if it's not replaced within a reasonable amount of time. Same with MacBook Pros. If the battery expands enough, you will get the screws ripped straight out of the bottom, and you do risk of fire, and lithium-ion fires are nothing to screw around with. Good luck putting it out. You basically just have to wait until it burns itself to death, unless you have a proper fire extinguisher designed specifically for lithium-ion fires, which they're not cheap. That's why it takes, 5 to 10 times more water to put out an electric vehicle fire than it does a regular car fire. Now we're just signing into the Wi-Fi. And we'll do enter. We're connecting. Connection successful. And then we've got error. Okay, continue. There was an error. What? Well, that's not great. Alright, let's try this guy. Connecting. So far so good. Connection successful. Will it give us that same error on a different network? Okay, thank goodness. For whatever reason it didn't like the network I connected to previously, so I used our guest network. I would highly recommend, if you have anybody visiting, or your ISP's support tech comes out, turn on the guest network on your Wi-Fi router, and that way, if you have your computer or whatnot sharing locally to the network, nobody can get into it, because it's basically a separate network on the same network. It comes in handy. Especially, if you have that guy that says, "Oh, I'm a hacker." That one friend. We all have him. Keep him on the guest network. Not worth it. So, let's see. So this guy only charges at about 15 watts. It is significantly cheaper, but that most likely will not give you adequate power to charge the Steam Deck, especially while playing. So always make sure that you check the wattage output. Let's see. Oh, 1 second. The other option, especially for more long-term battery, something like this, Anchor makes a good number of large battery banks. You can charge on AC, I believe, up to 100 watts. You could use AC up to 100 watts, maybe 150. I'm not actually sure anymore, but I believe I got this guy brand new for about $125, and it works pretty dang well. Certainly no slouch. Let's see, so we're restarting, it looks like. Alright, are we actually getting back in here? Alright, we got our startup splash screen. It's going well so far. Looks like we're getting somewhere. Maybe a little just hang, you know, loves to hang. Alright, we unplugged our USB-C flash drive adapter with flash drive included. Alrighty, that's a good sound. I'm gonna plug in the Steam Deck. I am now going to use the Steam mobile application to just scan the QR code. Works pretty well. Didn't work too well at launch, but it certainly has gotten better since then. So, let's see, sign into Steam. Alright. So, my desktop is showing up for Steam Remote Play, which is always nice. Once we get into the actual Steam Big Picture mode, we will check the, let's pull these guys back out, this where it belongs. We'll get past all this dialogue crap. We're going to go into settings, all the way down to storage, one of the last items. So now we have 460 gigabytes of space free on the Steam Deck currently. So, you know, 512 gigabytes is actually a sort of misnomer when it comes to storage, because for storage manufacturers, they consider a single gigabyte to be 1,000 kilobytes, which it is not. It's not an even conversion like that. So when you buy a hard drive, 4 terabyte hard drive actually shows up as, let's see, 4 terabyte shows up as 3.63. 1 terabyte shows up as 953 to 931. 2 terabyte shows up from about 1.81 terabytes, and then a 500 gigabyte is around 460 or so. So it's a little bit of a headache when they, you know, you think you're getting one thing, but in all reality, you're getting something totally different. You know, Apple actually got into a giant lawsuit a while back because their 64 gig model had less than, I believe, 45 gigabytes free because of the OS and whatnot. And it drives me nuts. It's like, why don't we just have as advertised? Especially on a phone with a smaller storage capacity. Let's see, we'll install. And let's see, so we're using local game transfer, or we should be. It doesn't actually look like we are. Okay, it's reserving space. Oh. Why did that happen? Alright. it'll be interesting to see what actually runs really well on here. Especially with the low 15 watt TDP of the Steam Deck's AMD APU. But from my testing so far, it seems like most everything runs very smoothly. And especially on this 7-inch screen, you're not going to notice much degradation. Turning settings down quite a bit, which is always nice. Let's see. Installing our common redistributables, and then I think we'll be just about wrapped up. Thank you for watching, and this has been Sammy's Computer Repair. Alright, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.